Hey, Crypto.XL here. I just wanted to give you a brief market update and my opinion on the market, what's going on. I haven't really been doing too many videos because I don't really think there's much to say, right? When we last left our hero, we were talking about up here that there's a good chance that Bitcoin is in a bear market. We pretty much assumed that we were in a bear market and we started to de risk. I did mention that bounces would be a good opportunity to short. And yeah, I still think we're in a bear market, obviously. And going from the pattern now, so we're in 2026, going from the pattern from 2022, you can see that we had significant downside from the top to the bottom. Wow, that's not right. How could it be that much? Yeah, it is that much. It was saying 80%. It's not 80%, but that's 77%. I thought it was a little bit less than that. The very, very bottom was 77%. And prior markets, by the way, we've been down more. We've been down like 85%. But I was comparing it to the most recent bear market prior to this one from 2021 heading into 2022, the 2022 bear market. The end of the bear market was November 2022, and we were down approximately 75% from top to bottom, 77% from top to bottom, November 2022. So that was the post bull market year. So 1 year after the bear market, we were down 77%. Since we had diminishing increases in the bull market for 2021, and we had diminishing increases in the bull market from 2021 versus 2025, that means that we should most likely have diminishing losses from the high to the low of the bear market in 2026. So if we were down 77% in 2022, that means that if we went down, we're not going to go down 77%. But if we did, right, that would put Bitcoin at about 28,000. What I can say is that we'll play it by the levels. Most likely, we'll probably go down like 60% or so. That would put us around 54K. What would be a good time to start DCing in? Well, when we hit support lines, critical support lines, maybe a little bit at 74K. We go down to 54K a little bit more. If anything below there, then by the way, 54K is approximately the 200-week moving average. Bitcoin normally goes back to the 200-week moving average. Anything below there, I would be DCing heavily should I continue to stay in the crypto market. So because remember, from bear market to bull market, buying in the bear market is where a lot of the gains are made. So just to recap, there's nothing really new of what the theory is, what the thesis is. It's just watching it play out, and these things are going to take time. So there's no need to rush it. There's no need to panic. What I will say though is if you look at the angle, the steepness of the decline, this is steeper than the prior bear markets, especially the prior bear market of 2022. This took more time for it to lose. What percentage is this? For it to be down approximately 40%. So 40% before. That took, how many bars is that? That's 12 bars. It's 9 bars, about 9 bars. And each bar is 1 week, right? And till the end, how many bars was that? That was 32 bars. To the very bottom is 62 bars. All right, so 9 bars, for 40%. How many bars is this? It says 17 bars. Let's try that again here. How many bars for 40%? Oh, that's actually it's 8 bars, but until it broke down again, I lost it. It's actually 20 bars. The first time it hit 40%. Yeah, it's about 10 bars. But then why does it seem steeper? This seems, because we did go sideways for a little bit. How long did we go sideways for? We went sideways for 15 bars before we broke down a second time in 2022, and this time on the 11 bars. So we went sideways for more weeks in 2022 before we broke down a second time. This time we went sideways for only 60% of the time that we went sideways before, and then before the next leg down. So it means, what does that mean? It means that the angle, the rate that we're descending towards the 200-week moving average is quicker than before. That's what that means. But what's interesting about this whole thing is that if we continue at this rate, we'll hit the 200-week moving average quicker than before. And then, ironically, that seems right in the time when a lot of these economic stimuluses from the United States are going to be hitting. That's what's interesting about this whole thing. Because, there, as far as like the tariffs, I think a lot of these things will be ironed out. The Clarity Act, a lot of these, a lot of these crypto, I have a little cold too. A lot of these crypto things will be worked out. The crypto rules and regulations. There'll also be some stimulus issued by the government. So economically, the suffering of the people economically should not be as much. The new Fed chair should be in by then. So what are we talking about? We're talking about May, June, right around there, because the market also front runs all the news, right? So it's possible that we get a low put in before May, June. It's possible. And then we get a significant bounce back up. So in other words, it's looking like we might come down. I have a blue line, which is confusing. I really don't play with the charts that much. So we might come down heading into May, June-ish, and then get a significant bounce back up. That's what I'm thinking here. And stay in the bear before we really, get the next, before the end of the bear market and we start going back into bull mode. This is my theory, and I do tell you again that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a crypto investor / enthusiast. And crypto is risky. Make sure you manage your risk and consult a financial advisor should you need one. But yes, so everything's going according to plan. There's nothing to really worry about. I will say though that again, I look at bounces as shorting opportunities. I've always seen it that way because it's possible to build up capital in the bear market until we come down to a bottom and then redeploy capital at the bottom and go long Bitcoin at the bottom and just chill out for the next 3 or so years and just ride the wave up with a little bit of stress, not as much stress as it could be. Now, if I'm wrong and Bitcoin just remains, Bitcoin is no longer Bitcoin and people are risk off on Bitcoin in the future, then my theory doesn't work in that case. That's also a possibility, okay? It's a possibility that Bitcoin doesn't return as powerful in the 4-year cycle as far as the amount of gains we expect, that might not happen again but it might not happen again in the next cycle. Um, However, I do think it will happen in the next cycle, but I'm not sure about the cycle after that. All right, but that's 8 years from now, right? Again, these are all theories. These are just theories that I'm putting out there. Altcoins underperformed what we expected, but we didn't have the stimulus that we had in 2021, post COVID 2021, right? So that explains a good part of it. Remember in crypto to manage your risk. Don't put in more than you could afford to lose, and to have a plan. That's all. That's just a market update. I will be making more videos in the future, so be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the top. Crypto.XL. Peace.